Okay, so look, time is moving on. We have a last session. It's not really a session, it's some takeaways. We've asked 4 people to give us their takeaway from today. So I'm not sure who wants to go first. Maybe it could be you, Agnieszka. I don't want to put a question to you. I'm going to give you free rein.
Thank you, Andrew. So, couple of things. So you can basically kind of take away from this day potentially a couple of categories. So things that never change, something new, and something that you also learned. So for me, for the things that never change, and it's actually interesting to hear, mess in, mess out. I mean, this story is so old and is actually touching so many areas. If you don't think well about the marriage, whichever form, whether it's a business contract or not, you are not going to be ending up in a good situation. Thank you very much for the first session. I think this GBS value creation was really great, and it was something which I will, carry with me as we are, facing the same challenge. Interesting was actually, I'm not sure whether you have noticed, one of the skills that are sought after was the social media. The same skills are supposed to be non-existent because of the AI. So I'm not sure where it's coming from. I think that Przemek will be sought after as a new BPO leader, so he doesn't destroy the opinion of the BPOs. Another thing I checked as an inspiration after the last great hour, actually you can buy ETFs which are based on the alcohol. So in case you're interested. From the more serious things, I think that, developing for gender diversity, that is something that, I will take away with me. I would be actually a person to hire for diversity. But I think, this development and taking an effort, maybe it's also a better way to go. Definitely a lot of great speeches, a lot of inspirations. I was trying to note the things that, would be worthwhile to share. Thank you very much all for being here and for such active participation. It was a pleasure. Andrew, thank you for organizing.
Thank you, Agnieszka. Thank you. Adam.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, everyone. So key takeaways. I've got a few takeaways, or actually 4 takeaways. 2 of them related to content and 2 of them related to experience that we've been having today. So first of all, I think we've been talking a lot about diversity and gender balance. And today we've delivered on it, I believe. Looking at our stage presence, at the content discussions, our room presence, I think we've achieved our aspiration. And thank you, Ola, for setting the bar very high. Then 2 points about content. So one, I have to say, Andrew asked me, okay, what is surprising? I would say it's surprising to me in a negative way. So I don't want to say disappointing, but actually I see two things coming out of these discussions and out of our industry. So it's not only what we've seen today, but also what we see in the industry. So the first point is about automation and adoption of automation, artificial intelligence, and we talk about this a lot, but personally, I'm very disappointed with the slow adoption in our sector. I think 7-8 years ago, I thought that this would be like really enabling lots of value creation, lots of value realization in the GBS sector. We have lots of electronic records, lots of data. We have now access to global economies, global markets, and we are not doing too much in this. So I think for the next 5 years, I would hope that we'll do much more. As a sector, we'll be smarter, using automation much more and more in a casual way. And the second item related to content is also a bit negative, but I see it as a positive opportunity because I'm positive by nature. So I think what we see, that I'm still surprised or disappointed actually, that we see a lot of executive members, board members, that they live in the bubbles. Like during the COVID, we had the bubbles for sport events, tennis tournaments. They were closed in the bubbles. And I think many of these guys, these leaders, are still closed in the bubbles, isolating them from GBS sector. There is still a lot of misperception, misunderstanding, and even resistance or even ignorance. So I think that creates another opportunity for all of us to educate them, inspire them, bring them to your centers, our centers, show them the art of possible, because I believe that our sector can achieve a lot and much more than we do today. And the last takeaway is back to the experience. Don't argue with Przemek. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam. We're now going to go to, before we come to you, we're going to go to Costa Rica. To Costa Rica, I think. Can we join Costa Rica? Oh, hello, Philippe. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me and ability to join remotely. I just wanted to give you the kind of a perspective I got from after my 4 months being here in Costa Rica and running the office. Because where I'm based is San Jose, Costa Rica, which in fact is quite similar city like Krakow. It's around 1 million inhabitant city. Is a hot hub for IT, for finance, GPS, just like us. And some time ago, I got an invite from as a local side lead to a local association, leaders association. We could say similar to the one like Aspire is. And I can tell you that when I went there with my bias, the level of maturity, trust, integration, knowledge sharing was far from what we have here. So I just wanted to give you this perspective that sometimes we tend to forget because we have it around us. That what we've created here, I mean, this Aspire, connection, platform, ecosystem between us as the leaders, it's something really unique, and I think we can never underestimate it what we've created, because it's not everywhere, and I just experienced that. So please remember about that, and thank you for everyone who've put this session together as an example of the trust, knowledge sharing, and the connections we've created. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippe. Hey, I think we probably should have ended with that one, so I hope you've got some nice things to say.
It's actually interesting to listen to Philip saying that Costa Rica is exactly the same as Krakow, looking what he has behind the window, comparing to what we have behind our windows today. But a couple of comments from section interesting, surprising, and learning for future. Interesting, first comment about interesting is when I'm looking for last month and a half, I'm attending different conferences, different meetings, different workshops. And each meeting we are talking about AI, which gives me two perspectives. First one, it's true that it's absolutely going to change everything, that is in front of us, because everybody is talking about it. But look only what is promising. Look what happened today. During probably 8 hours of our conversations, majority of the time we still talked about people. About how we grow our employees, what is important for them, what is important for us, about upskilling, etc., etc. So I think it's promising that we are not forgetting about human being at the end, which is, I fully agree, a security for us for future. So that's my first comment. Second comment, I fully agree with previous comments during conversation about BPO. Are BPO dead? It was extremely visible how conversation and exchange of arguments based on facts and experience can change people's minds. So in half an hour, I would say. So that's the second comment. Let's talk, let's exchange facts, let's exchange wisdom, and that is going to bring the good for future. Next comment I have from surprising. On one of the charts we saw the skills of our employees for future, for success. And we talked about AI so much. On that slide, we didn't see any single word about the skills related to AI. So we are fully convinced it's going to change our life, it's going to change our business, But among the skills that are important for us for future, there was no single word about skills related to AI, which is a question mark for us for future. What else? Maybe last two comments. Change for future. I think from neurodiversity section, I think I will spend much more time to talk to leaders and managers about looking and understanding not only looking at the space and the environment, but looking at people behaviors, people needs from methodologies, processes side. I think we are still not spending enough time to train them to see exactly this kind of signals and behaviors around us. So I think this is comment number one. When I'm going to come back home, the first thing I'm going to do, I will talk to my children and tell them to look at social media in a completely different way, and rather not posting funny stories, funny pictures, but looking from a perspective of training for AI for future. If they want to become a model employee or a president of Poland, think about it now, what you put on a social media, which is, of course, a joke from one side, but from the second side, it's a serious story that resonated with me today. So I think this is my last comment, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jacek. Okay, so I want to draw it to a close. What does today say to me? It tells me about the power of community. And in what sense? Something that Ian said, right? You can never see the bend in the road, all right? So how do you know what's coming? There's only one way that we can do that, and that's through relationships, through talking to each other, from expanding our view of the world, through talking to each other. And that's based on trust. And today, days like today, is how we build that trust. And it's really important that we protect and we look after that trust, because that's our way to see our way into that future, I believe. So thank you all very much for coming. Thank you for everyone that led a session, for talked during a session, who sat through a session. We should all give ourselves a huge round of applause.